All right. Hey guys. All right. So this is actually a video that I was thinking about making for a long time, but I knew the algorithm wouldn't like this kind of video. But I figured that those people that are hardcore about this shit, like I am, might need this advice. And I know it's not something that most people are going to click on or really care about. But there's a lot of really good lessons to know about how to deal with a girl's father. If you are that kind of guy who is a bleeding heart, a loving, caring person who is also ambitious and is intelligent, who is socially aware, and you are dealing with narcissistic, shitty, bully ass parents where you talk to a girl, they pick on you or they're being rude as fuck to you, either in cold approach situations or by dating a girl. I'm gonna show you guys how to handle it. I'm gonna teach you guys some mindsets. I'm gonna tell you guys some stories, and I'm gonna explain the kind of mentality you need to take on with these kind of parents. Now, I want to make some assumptions about you guys. Again, you're a person with a good soul who's ambitious. If you're not, honestly, this might not be your video, but I know the guys that generally watch my videos on these, the ones that like watching my content about very specific things, you guys are usually very ambitious. You guys are people that want to improve in game, and that's what I'm teaching you guys how to do right here. Is that actually this entire video right here is going to teach you how to have boundaries with people, how to teach you how to handle bullies, how to handle aggressive individuals, because not everybody's built like us. Not everybody is an empathetic, loving soul where you feel people's emotions and you care about their subjective realities. Some people, honestly, are shitbags, and it doesn't matter come in age. It doesn't matter if you have kids or not. If you have a daughter, it doesn't matter if you have a certain job. Dude, I've met so many people of so many different backgrounds who are just shitty ass people and don't deserve your respect. All right, so that's where we're going to start off with. So I'm going to tell you some stories about me and some of my friends, some learning lessons about fathers and mothers, and we're going to move forward from there. And I'm going to start teaching you guys some lessons on this. So I'll go back in time. So my very first girlfriend, the very first girlfriend I ever had, actually tried to fight me. So there was a rumor going around about me and my girlfriend about how something was going on. And instead of the guy coming to me as a respectful adult, he grabs me by the shirt and I push him off of me, and it almost turned into a fight. First thing, very first. Ever since then, I actually, you know, what's funny? I created a self fulfilling prophecy because ever since this happened, I've always been nervous around fathers. If you as an adult person like a girl you're dating, you want her friends and her parents to like you, obviously, because you care about your girl and you want her friends. You want it to be easy and effortless for your girl, and you don't want her friends or family to make it hard for you. And if they are making it hard for you and her, fuck them. Like legit, fuck them. Because I know you guys. You guys are caring people, and you guys are caring souls. You guys are not trying to hurt these girls. However, these people are being tenfold more destructive to this girl's life than you could ever be. All right. So another time, actually, my very first girlfriend, when I first started working with RSD, she was this girl that worked at Hooters. And in retrospect, actually, she was a she was a chip off the old block. Her mom would get wasted drunk and was just a mean little shitbag bully woman. I remember I was telling her about how one day I was going to have a YouTube channel and how I was going to make it popular in this industry. And she got drunkenly starts calling me out for this shit. She's like, "You're never going to do that kind of shit. You're a liar. You're a liar," at a dinner table with her family. Now, instead of me doing what I would do now, which is like walk out the place, be like, you know what, actually, I don't want to deal with this. I'm taking off. All right, good luck. Sober up and taking off, which is what I would do now. At the time, I sat there and took it. I was blushing. I was in my head because I wanted her to like me because I liked their daughter. In retrospect, I should have stood up for myself, and I didn't. I actually told the rest of the family it was okay to dis fuck and respect me. You as an adult, you as a person, if you ever deal with this shit and you're already dating somebody's daughter, don't subject yourself to their bullshit. All right. They're not dating you. You're dating their daughter. They're not a part of the relationship. They can be a part of the relationship if they treat you right, but they're not a part of the relationship inherently. All right. You probably have had it where the fathers make jokes about having guns in the fireplace and how they have a pump action shotgun or they try to intimidate you. You don't have to deal with that shit either. That's not okay. It's not couth. It's not okay to threaten people with weapons over their daughter. I know it's like a societally okay and cool thing to do, but it's not cool. I don't care if society says it's cool. It's not cool to threaten people with weapons. It's not cool. I don't give two fucks. I don't care what people say. It's not fucking cool. And that's again, it's a boundary you have with people. If somebody were to come with me and say that kind of shit, I'd roll my eyes and just act like they didn't say shit, and I would just change subjects. It's a really good way to handle. Like, you don't have to say anything, really. Just roll your eyes, change subjects. Like, it's not worth your time to engage in that kind of talk, and it sets a very quick boundary with them. Now I'm gonna tell you some stories. There's a lot more stories about around that, but I don't think any of them are all that good. Oh, actually, no, I will tell you actually a couple. I've had times where I approach girls in the streets out here in Vegas, and a father. All right, so here's what happened. So I approached these two attractive girls. They were probably in their early 20s, and I walk up to her, and go, "Hey, you're very cute. What's your name?" And she lights up. She's super into the conversation, whatnot. And this old couple walks up behind me. This guy, balding, a little bit overweight, walks up to me, taps me on the shoulder, and goes, "Can I help you?" And I go, "No, no, no, it's okay. I'm just talking to this girl." And he taps me again and goes, "That's my daughter." I'm like, "Oh, dude, no, don't even worry about it. My bad. What's your name?" And he goes, "You can leave now." And I look at him like this. I'm like, "Look, I was being really fucking cool to your daughter and to you. And now you're going to be a douchebag. You know what? I hope you have a good day." And I left. Now, later that night, I ran back into her and I fucked her brains out because her dad was pushing me away and made me into the bad boy, made me into the guy that had to be the adult, where this guy was twice my fucking age. And then I have to be the one that's responsible, the one that's actually cool in a conversation that can handle himself emotionally. I'm the one. So yeah, I fucked his daughter. And it's not from some like vindictive way. Like the girl's really cool and we became good friends afterwards. There was nothing evil or intent in my heart. But because he acted that way, she wanted to seek me out and find me because I was the adult and he wasn't. As a father, you have to let your kids at some point fly out of the nest and you can't be controlling them so much or else you're going to have like girls acting the way she did with me. She's never going to be honest or upfront with her father. And because he's so jealous and weird about his daughter and because he's not willing to let her experience her life, guess what? Shit like that's going to happen and she's going to be a lot worse off for it. He's a terrible father and I'm a good person. It's not bad to it's not evil to go say hi to a girl. Us as men, our job is to approach the women. Women are never going to approach us. Women are never going to be the ones to take the first step. They do on occasion. It's really cool when they do, but it's not expected. It's not their role in society. It's ours. And it's okay for you to approach a girl regardless, which whether she's with her dad or mom. And as long as you have good intent behind your approach and you're not being a like person that's has evil intent, there's never really, and you have nothing in your heart but to make them feel better and have a better day. Then there's nothing wrong with you saying hi to a girl or being extroverted and just getting yourself out there. Nothing wrong with it. Um, so this next one actually is from this dirtbag guy that actually was friends with me at the time. He used this. So when I used to work on the strip as a club promoter and as a salesman, when I was working for RSD, I'd run into a lot of people, and I was trying to work on building a big social circle in Vegas, and I come from a place of not having any friends as a kid and having very little friends, so I overdid it, and I made a lot of friends out here in Vegas. If you ever walk the streets with me here, you've probably seen me out here just knowing everybody. People fist pounding me as I'm walking. It's because I overcompensated for the fact that I had no friends when I was a kid, and so anyways, these drug dealers out here, they I was trying to talk these guys out of doing it for a long time. Told them it's a fucking shit ass business strategy and there's too much downside. You might make a lot of money now, but if you get caught, it's fucking your entire life up. There's no longevity in the business of selling drugs. Was the way I was trying to sell them. So these kids loved the fuck out of me. They would have my back, so I respected them in that way. At least they were loyal friends. Well, this mother and daughter walk by us. This daughter is dressed very scantily, and the mother looks like somebody who has a lot of money. Well, one of the drug dealers, he's actually was a good looking guy and very verbally strong and powerful, but he was also a drug dealer. So he walks by and goes, "Hey girl, love your outfit. You looking sexy," like that. Well, the mother turns around, she goes, "She's 16." And I thought to myself, "Oh no, that's bad." I remember my heart dropping. I'm like, "Oh fuck, oh shit." Well, he turns to her and goes, "That's your fucking daughter? Then you're letting her dress like that? Bitch, you're a terrible mother." And I looked at him like, "Oh shit." And the mother kind of chokes for a second and then keeps walking. And I think about that to this day because I'm like, look, he was right ultimately. And the way he treated her was the way that he should have treated her. He didn't know she was 16. Obviously, he wouldn't do anything with it because she's 16, but he had no idea. And she came to him with negative energy. Honestly, he did say it in kind of like a a very well said it in his way. He was trying to give a compliment in his own way, but she was so up her own ass that she couldn't like just let it go. And so He created a boundary. And to be fair, he was tenfold more attractive to the girl because he stood up to her mom. And that's actually, again, girls like valuable, high status people. And in a roundabout way, even though that probably wasn't the way that I would ever do it, it was, to be fair, high status. And these guys, these two drug dealers, fucked a lot of attractive girls. So if it works, it works. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Now, I've also had friends out here who were maybe more on the sociopathic bend. Not well, I had one friend that was on this. I didn't know this guy was a sociopath at the time. I just thought he had an incredible game. And he would all the time, if a father was being a douche, if the father was being cool, he wouldn't care. But he had no problems with standing up for himself to parents. And I remember I learned a lot from this guy doing this. And it actually taught me a lot of lessons because I wouldn't approach daughters when they're around their mom or their dad. Moms are actually really cool usually. Fathers, though, are the ones that are going to be more likely to get jealous and weird. So now at this point, we're going to get into the understanding the psychology of a bully dad. Okay. So most fathers aren't hustlers. They aren't like you and me. They don't work on themselves. They don't try to better themselves every day. Most of them fell into obscurity and started living lives that they subtly and secretly hate. They hate their wives. They hate their lives. And they're just coping. They're just like, this is good enough. And they backwards rationalize why their life is the most noble life living. Why living a boring ass life and not making money and living in a house with their kids and not inspiring them is a noble life. And being like this guy who does dad jokes, it's noble. It's not. I want to be, if I ever have kids one day, I want to be inspiring. I want to inspire the fuck out of them. I want to be a bad motherfucker for them. I want them to look at me and be like, man, my dad's a fucking killer. And I respect the fuck out of them. And I don't see that in a lot of these fathers that I see with these daughters and whatnot. At least they do love them. They love them, obviously. But if you really love them, then why aren't you living to your biggest potential? Why are you living like a fucking worm? So they're jealous over their daughter, they're jealous over their daughter as if she was his lover. Like she's like, she can never have sex. She has to stay a kid forever. And these guys that approach her are just evil. And it's not, well, actually, I'm going to get into that in a second. So they're overly protective and they keep the girl from living her life. And if he was self-aware, he would let her be a person and make her own mistakes, give her a chance to meet high quality guys, such as yourself. But because if he was in your shoes as a person approaching a girl, and he's never approached a girl, he's never been a guy who's learned how to speak charismatically, to walk up to a girl at a bar and pick her up. So he doesn't know what it's like. He thinks from his perspective that if he was to go and approach a girl, he'd be this manipulative worm because he's a manipulative worm. He's not a manipulative worm because he can't be. He would cheat on his wife in a second if he could, but he can't. Do you see that? Isn't that kind of wild? Because he can't cheat, he won't cheat. But if he could, he would. Is that a high quality, high class guy? Is that a guy that a girl should date? Fuck no. If the roles were reversed and you were the father and he was the young kid walking up to a girl, that's the time when a father should be like a douchebag. Not that time. And so because the pot calls the kettle black because it sees a reflection in the pot, he thinks that you're a douchebag. When in all actuality, you're actually a good person. You want his daughter to feel great emotions. You want to make her laugh and you want to fall in love with her. You want to like pull her into a great reality. And he's stopping you by being a jealous freak. Stopping her from potentially meeting a high quality, possibly a husband material type guy one day. But because if he was in your shoes to be a douchebag, he thinks you're a douchebag because he's projecting his own insecurities onto you and his pathologies onto his daughter. It took me a long time to understand this because I used to get bullied too, as some of you guys did. I changed schools a lot. I would get bullied on occasion when I changed different schools. I remember me getting punched in the back of the head, people kicking my desk, people saying, like, call me a fag or gay or whatnot. But the reason that bullies target you, or if they've ever targeted you, is because they saw weakness and they felt like they could. So anytime I stood up for myself or I get in a fight, the bullies would stop immediately. Not because I was necessarily strong, but because they knew that if they were to say something, I could hit back. They don't want to fuck with somebody who's strong of character or has boundaries. And you can't win over everybody with being nice. So don't be nice. If the father, all right, walk to the father the same way you would walk to a girl. Assume the positive until he shows you otherwise. Assume he's going to be an amazing father. Assume he's going to be cool with you. And if he's not, fuck him. Like legit fuck him. Just because he came in a girl does not give him any more respect than another man. Doesn't give him any more respect than some other guy without a kid. Just because he came in a bitch doesn't mean that he deserves to be a father. Doesn't mean he deserves your respect. And if he's not willing to give you respect, he doesn't get, If he's not willing to give you respect, you don't have to give it to him back in return. Okay. So assume the positive, assume he's going to be a cool guy, assume he's going to be amazingly awesome and not weird in any which way. And if he is, then don't interact with them. Pauses, silence, draw boundaries, use facial expressions. Don't do anything that can be written on paper as a solid reason for him not to like you, and it'll paint him as a douchebag. I'm sorry that the girl's father lived a life that would make you, yourself, the person who watches this video, kill yourself. But his mistakes do not deserve your sympathy. And if he is a cool person, then he deserves your respect. If he doesn't, fuck him. Honestly, fuck him. Learn to be unaffected by his antics. Oh, by the way, I'm reading this skit over here, and I will be answering questions in a second. I'm just reading through my notes really fast. Know your boundaries. You're not a person that people are allowed to fuck with or disrespect. You're a good person with good intent, and coming from a headspace, you are worthy of respect. And if someone that is going to see your kindness as weakness does not deserve your kindness. So I used to be the person that would kind of be a punching bag for people, where people could like kind of light me up. But at some point of me going out and doing sales, I got fucked with one too many times by enough crazy fucking psycho people. And eventually I was just like, fuck this. No, you don't fucking get to treat me this way. I don't give a fuck if I lose this job. I don't care if I get in a fight. You are no longer allowed to treat me like this. You know what's funny? People stopped treating me like it. It was like this. It's like the second that in my head, I told myself, you can't fuck with me. You're not allowed to, regardless if I could fight or not. Cause I'm learning how to fight now, like actually like legitimately. But at the time I wasn't a great fighter. I wasn't the kind of person but I wasn't willing to like tolerate it any longer, no matter the consequences. And that's when people stopped fucking with me. That's when it stopped happening. And if you are somebody that feels that some level feels like he deserves it, or it's just the way it is, it's what causing these bully people to pick on you. They sense the weakness and they sense that they can. And so because they can, they will. Because from their narcissistic bend, they like using it as a punching bag because it makes them feel more powerful. If I can dominate and beat and bully this person, I must be strong because I can bully and pick on another person. I can take this other person with his free will and of a subjective reality, and I could subject him and I can push him down. So that makes me stronger because I'm pushing everybody else down. I can feel taller. If I can make everybody bow and bend, then I must be a better, stronger person. That's not the case. It's narcissism that makes these people do this. It's narcissism and cruelty. And I don't abide by that shit. No. I've had it too many times where I see clients getting picked on. And no, not today. Not today. That's not going to be how this game is played. And if this guy's going to try to bully you, no. You do not deserve that level of fucking respect by any means. Drinking coffee at fucking like almost 10 p.m. God damn it. Having a fucking long work night too. So, and I'll put it this way too. If you're somebody that bows and scrapes, or you come to the parents' house and you have to sit all prim and proper instead of like how you'd sit at your own place, you make it awkward for the parents if the parents are cool. If they are cool people, by you being at ease in your own body, you give them the chance themselves to also relax. You actually lead them by example. By you being relaxed and at ease in their home or at their place of residence, you give them permission to also be at ease. If they offer you a gift, take it if you really want it. Because by you taking the gift, not only is it like on a psychological level, actions for the ego, by them giving you a gift, they backwards rationalize and must like you, but it also puts them at ease. Because you're not somebody who's like, oh, no, I'm good, sir. I'm good. No, you're like, oh, thank you. That was awesome. And whatever they give you, take it. It's a codependency thing to not take gifts. And if you are codependent, that you want to start breaking these cycles of codependency, because I would have done the same thing. I would have sit all prim and proper back when I was younger. I would have somebody would offer me food. I'd be like, no, I'm good, even if I was hungry. But however, you want to play to win still when you're talking to a girl, but don't be a douche. If you're approaching a girl in the streets, play to win, but don't be a douchebag to the dad. Still be nice and upbeat and authentic. But also, you're there to talk to his daughter, not to talk to him. You want to talk to his daughter and woo his daughter. That's how the game is played. That's how it's always been played. Girls are looking for the high status, high quality guy. So play the game. Be a high status guy without being a douchebag to the father, unless he's being a douchebag to you. And that deserves a different type of game. Because he came and a girl doesn't make him more valuable than you. All right. You are high value, and he'd be lucky if you decided to date his daughter. If you decided to date his daughter, he'd be so unbelievably lucky, and so would she. If you're not valuable yet, you're somebody that is studying because you're watching this channel, it'd be ripping up a lottery ticket. You are Bitcoin before Bitcoin blew up. How lucky would we all be if we all invested in Bitcoin when it first opened up? So incredibly lucky. And so would he if you dated his daughter. If his daughter tied you down, which is a girl's job to tie down a dope guy, he'd be so unbelievably lucky because you have so much potential in your future. Yeah, but still, with that being said, assume familiarity, assume friendship until he proves otherwise. So when you approach a daughter in a dad set or an interaction, give him love initially, assume he's your friend. It'll make you come across more warm. But if he demonstrates that he is not capable of that, that's the second that you switch. That's the second that you're not going to allow it. Ice him, don't talk to him, ignore him, and talk to the daughter. If he does get physical, draw a boundary. Hey man, I don't give a fuck if you're her father or not. Don't touch me. We're not children. You're twice my age. That's not cool. Draw a boundary. You don't have to get in a fight. Don't get in a fight. Just draw a boundary and be like, look, that's not legal in this country. You can't just fucking physically assault me. Please don't touch me. I hope you have a better day and leave. Okay? You don't have to deal with it. It doesn't mean you have to keep trying to pick up his daughter, leave, but draw a boundary. It'll make you feel better. Girls don't want to date a bitch, and if you become a bitch to the father, she won't be attracted to you. Which is a funny catch-22 because the father would like it if you're being a bitch to him, because then he's like, yes, I feel more comfortable that my daughter's not dating a douchebag. But it's not you being a douchebag if you have boundaries. And it's also not you being you play the game to win. Don't play for the father, play for the daughter. The father wants you to be a fucking like loser like he is, because he's backwards rationalized his reality for being a fucking loser and being weak. And so he wants you to be weak like him because he's like, weak guys are the best guys. It's like, no, they're not. Your daughter doesn't want a weak guy to date her. And you shouldn't too if you're actually self-aware. If you actually give a fuck about your daughter and you're self-aware, you want that either. All right. That's pretty much all the points I want to put down on this. So here, let's hey, MCKCM, dude, I'm not answering that fucking question, bro. Dude, you keep fucking bugging me about that. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not answering that question, man. Dude, I've told you no on that. I don't talk about Chase too much. I'm sorry, bro. We already talked about that. Okay. Well, here, I'll get going on you guys. Text me if you guys are interested in coaching. Text me at 702-841-9909. Hamza, yeah, man. I'll see you next week. We're gonna fuck that shit up for the boot camp. Yeah, man. Like I said, get a lot of sleep. Be prepared. Drink a lot of water beforehand because we're gaming in the desert. Hey, nice seeing you too, Prin. Hey, I'm glad you guys all showed up for the stream, man. This is like a very like nuanced topic, and I know this is not going to be an algorithmically like powerful video, and that's not the point of this video. Sorry, MC. I told you, man. We talked about this. Yeah, if you guys want to like, I don't know, if you guys have any suggestions for videos too, you guys can leave it once I post the video, and just leave any like. I'm gonna start using these live videos for these very specific types of questions, because I do know you guys always have very specific types of stuff about game, and I'd love to help you guys out. And I've been trying to more play the algorithm lately to build the business, and I know a lot of you guys who are hardcore about this game shit want more specific answers, so I'm gonna try and make these more for those kind of questions now. I've been thinking about this for a little bit, so I'm gonna start doing that with these live videos. And so for those of you like lucky motherfuckers who always show up to the live videos and take the shit seriously, let me know, okay? All right, guys, peace.